I knew I wanted to go to a small liberal arts college, and when you're applying to a handful of them, they tend to all look the same. But when I stepped on E-Town's campus, there was just such a unique feel.
So one thing I noticed when I was touring different schools was at E-Town, I would also graduate with a math degree as well that I could always fall back on if for some reason I decided at some point I didn't want to teach any longer. And that's very unique and different to any of the other schools that I visited who didn't have as high of a content knowledge coming out as a graduate.
I feel like the math courses definitely prepared me well for teaching in the classroom. They exceed any math that I will ever teach in high school, so knowing harder math makes it a lot easier to teach easier math. When the students ask those tough questions, why do I need this? When am I ever going to use this? Which they ask you on a pretty much a daily basis. I feel like I can always answer that. Like, well, you can apply it to this, or you can use it in this kind of problem because of my exposure in the classroom at E-Town.
So the other thing that's also unique on the education side for secondary mathematics education is that you're in the field from your very first semester here. Just to clarify that is what you want to do. You do want to be a teacher and you've picked the correct field. I know a lot of my friends at other colleges don't get into the field to even observe until their junior year. And at that point, if you decide that teaching is not for me, you're a little bit committed. So I think E-Town does a great job of making sure that yes, you want to be a teacher, that's what you want to do, that's what you love from day one.
My first education class at E-Town required me to go to 3 different placements: an elementary level, a middle level, and a secondary level. That really exposed me to all the levels. Even though I knew I wanted to do secondary, it was nice to get that for sure feeling. I definitely want to be secondary math ed.
My first time in front of a classroom wasn't very graceful. I was nervous, my palms were sweaty. I was visibly uncomfortable, and that was back freshman year when I was first in a classroom. But if we fast forward to where I am now, I've had so many experiences in a classroom that I feel like it's my home away from home. Being in a classroom, that's where I belong. And that's definitely because of the number of placements that I've had because of the ed department. And in the math department, that's given me such a base of content that I feel comfortable to answer questions that I wasn't expecting. A great help for my improvement in the classroom has been Dr. Soltis.
Dr. Soltis is our mathematics education advisor, and he's excellent. He comes out and observes us. He gives us all those little tidbits that you never think of, and all those tiny details that you just kind of overlook. And he has great constructive criticism. Even if your lesson really didn't go well, he presents it in such a way that you still leave feeling awesome. So in all of my teacher observations, it's not uncommon for me to hear, in the faculty room or from my direct co-op, that they love when they have E-Town student teachers. In fact, typically if they have the choice between an E-Town student teacher and another school, they almost always pick E-Town. I've had some teachers even say that they don't take anything except E-Town student teachers.
So most of the co-ops that I've worked with at my placements for ed have had nothing but wonderful things to say about E-Town. They always say, oh, I'm so glad you're from E-Town, or all the E-Town students are so prepared. And that's always reassuring to have that brand with me. So when I'm applying for jobs or when I'm in the classroom, I have that background of E-Town.
I can say I'm proud to be from Elizabethtown because Elizabethtown has such a great reputation. Even being in my placements, I hear teachers say that the Elizabethtown students are coming and they're qualified, they know their content, and they're ready to be in the classroom.